think one time when Rinpoche copied it from on his computer into the website, it worked. But because mine is a Linux computer, it doesn't have the same capabilities. That's why I asked you with Windows to try to copy.
Hello. Oh, go to the left, isn't it? 당고 게 교토 갱이 송고도 데려배 알레레 오야야 년 당고 뭐람 잡이 이 연도 텐서 오야야 알레 추도가 되래 알레 시발에 되래 남주 파게 랑리야 송고로 와 레레레레 레레 레레 둥고 말해 추추도 찍마도 둥고 말해 이내 공부대 단다 지날 돼야지 공부 때에게 되도 둥고 와 뒤인도 공부 동시 장에디 고 이 되도 연애 개요 말해 뒤인도 남주 가르치기로 수도 추수 시바들 좀 아니 추수 시바네 가봐 봐도 말람데 아니 가봐 놈들 상상나 아니 공부도 나오야 저거 동안 어디인도 선이 공부를 하다도 진달이요 봐 다리 선님하게 진다 고초로 제대요 아니 선이 쇼겐 가셔 내주 그마도 공부를 했는데 디쳐 짜요 다리들 ngali야 못해 주고 하지 라서 오야야 따따 어두지 오야야 오야 좀 된데 제자바 나좀바 양다바 조베 산제레바 나샤조 덴바 데와라 지된 점본 제본 데베 갈로 저와 메바라다 메나 점바 산제 좀 된데 베자와 자자 도바라 자제로 쳐도 자소 쳐 덴바 좀 된데 다좀바 양다 리바다 자조 덴바 데와 제바 제된 점바 제본 갈로 저와 나메바 라다 메난제 덴바 산제 좀 된데 베자와 자자 도바라 자 쳐도 자소 쳐 덴바 좀 된데 니제 자와 다좀바 양다바 조베 산제 리바다 자소 데와라 제반 지된 점바 제본 데베 갈로 저와 라나 메바 라다 메남제 덤바 산제 좀데 두발라 자자로 장자소제 오에 라마다 곰보 제전 장베야 자제로에 관계에 로제 제니어에 젠데 년다에 남다 랍세 제니어에 등괴 제제어에 세제 니제어에 도가 레바마엔제 칸다에 세베 저라마레 면도마엔도냐에 게세베 초조의 군라 포지의 다제 예라의 주주 양대송 초다라의 제조 녀모의 니로 레제의 자조 주제의 제 리의 면도 도녀의 녀고의 제녀의 전제의 라제남 테네의 다제 sa chu da se yen den zo ya se to be ku cho da jo da cho ni gen de da lu me ze jam be ya la de o ma araba za na de o ma Umara bazanado, Mara 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 bazanado. Umara bazanado, Umara bazanado, Mara 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 bazanado. Omara bazanado, Mara 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 Omara bazanado, Mara bazanado, Mara bazanado, Mara bazanado, Mara bazanado, Mara bazanado. Omara bazana di 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 Zenden je jera vese je dalu temo memba rabzene kadan denje jonglo doba ye loje bobe nao zedo se Jojen me do dama zhe lenje nyende nyamba de sanje shindo me de bewa ye Dogun namda jingla jebara joy. Damba je namanje chugu kala kenzi tenjene jedara zambe deja zemala zabje zuje java abdo zoy. Guru rana mendala gana ya daya me sanje chudan soji Janju bado dhane jaso che dagi chöche jebe sonam jola benje sanje jobara sho sanje chodan soje chonama la janju bado dhane dagi chöche jebe sonama je jola benje sanje jobara sho sanje chodan soje chonama la janju bado dagi chöche jebe sonama je jola benje sanje jobara sho Good morning. Good morning. We have new people here. Could you please introduce yourself to us? This is first time, isn't it?
Yes, but we watched you 2 weeks ago
Ah,
on YouTube.
I see. Are you from here?
Half here in Minnesota and then half in Florida, half time in Florida.
Ah, okay. I see. So welcome to Kachiling. So, happy Sagadawa. We say happy Sagadawa. Actually, Sagadawa is a month. But then, the 15th day of the Sagadawa month is the peak of the month. So we use that term, Sagadawa day. So you know that today is a very special day. Are you aware of that? Okay.
Is it the finish or the beginning of the retreat?
Yeah, today is the peak, main day. Of course, Sagadawa is from the 1st to the 30th. The whole month is considered a special month. But today, particularly today, is a very special day. So my next question is, since you are already aware that today is a special day, what different did you do today? Isn't it? That's the question. For lay people, you have work. You have to go to work. Unless you are retired, then it's a different story. If you have to go to work, time is so precious. You don't have time to really commit to Dharma practices, even if you wanted to. Because if you stop working, then what do you call that? We call it Ashankunga. Ashankunga, Ashang means uncle. Kunga means makes everybody happy. So actually we're talking about money. So that won't come in, isn't it? So no choice, you have to work. So because those who are working have very limited time, it is very important to grab these opportunities. I always give an example that what Tibetans like to do. On public holidays, Tibetans look forward to it, especially if you are working in hospitals. You get double pay if you work on public holiday. So they look forward to it and grab that opportunity. You are doing the same amount of hours or same number of hours, but you get paid double. So here is same thing. Even though it is like normal day, but if you do special, it doesn't have to be special practice. If you do practice on day like today, you get double. You say that it's 100,000 multiplying merit month. So you are doing the same thing, you are putting the same effort, but the result is different. So if we are wise enough, why not grab that opportunity? Isn't it? So if you haven't done anything differently, it's still okay. Still there is time. Until midnight, we have another maybe 10 hours or more, so you can do that. But then, the question is, what kind of motivation we are going to do the practice? Whether our practice becomes even a Dharma practice or not is fully contingent on our motivation, let alone, becoming a Bodhisattva practice. If our intention or motivation is solely for this life's purpose, we have this tendency, isn't it, all of us, whatever we do, prayers, whatever it is, all about this life. I'm doing this for my health. I'm feeling unwell, let's pray to Tara. Or I'm having difficulty, financial difficulty, let's do Zambala mantra. My student, my children, they are going to have a very special exam. Let me do some oming. So most of us, even though we try to do practice Dharma, because of our motivation, it stains. It really kind of corrupts. Then it's really a waste. So, beginning right now, starting from right now, let's try to get the maximum benefit. In order to get the maximum benefit, the intention must be fill in the blank. has to be bodhicitta mindset. So the primary goal has to be to benefit sentient beings. And in order to do that, I need to achieve enlightenment. So achieving enlightenment should be our primary goal for whatever practices we do. Then the other things, the well-being of this life, you can include that, but that has to be a secondary one. Then our practice becomes Dharma practice. So before we proceed, before we begin our actual class, let's just spend maybe 1 minute to set our motivation, try to generate bodhicitta mind, and propel our mindset that, whatever I'm going to sit here, you are putting effort, you have to concentrate. Whatever time I'm going to spend here, it is really in order to achieve enlightenment. I will strive to achieve enlightenment in order to liberate sentient beings. For that purpose, I am going to listen to today's teaching. That's simple. It's that simple. Okay, let's just motivate ourselves. Okay. So remember last class, I was going to show you this video, but it refused to do so, and looks like it is doing now as well. So we talked about forgiveness, the importance of forgiveness in the context of patience. We get angry, we hold grudge, we harbor this hatred because we are unable to forgive somebody. We hold that grudge that somebody has caused me harm. So I must hold this as if, that grudge is really harming the other person. But in reality, it is hurting us, not the other person. So we talk about the research-based forgiveness. So I am not going to repeat that. There's something called RICH, which we have discussed. So today, I wanted to let you watch this. This is about a person named Richard Moore. I think you have heard about him. And His Holiness calls him my hero because he really practiced forgiveness. So this is about him explaining what happened. His accent is Irish accent, so it's a bit, I find it difficult. Let's hear it.
I come from Derry, and I grew up in an area called the Craighead State. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, Craighead and Northern Ireland was plunged under a conflict. And the Craighead was at the epicenter of that conflict. Outside our front door, shootings, bombings, riots were a daily occurrence. In January 1972, you had a very famous but sad incident in Derry where 13 innocent people were shot dead by the British Army and the troops of Derry. Arguably, the weeks and months that followed Bloody Sunday were among the most violent periods of the Northern Ireland conflict.
I went to Rosewood Primary School from the age of 12.
Mm.
And beside the school was a British Army installation. On the 4th of May 1972, I got out of school as normal, and me and my friends started to race along the bottom of the school football pitch. I was only 10 years of age at the time. As we did so, I had to pass this British Army lookout post on my right-hand side. As I was about 10 feet away from it, a British soldier fired a rubber bullet. It hit me here in the bridge of the nose. I lost this sight, was left completely blind to the left eye. So blind now, 47 years. I spent 2 weeks in hospital. All during my time in hospital, I thought that I couldn't see because of the bandages on the eyes. So it was about a month after I was shot, I was out home. And my brother Noel took me for a walk up and down our back garden. And this particular day he said to me, Richard, do you know what has happened? And I said, yes, and he was shot. He said, do you know what damage was done? And I said, no. And that's when he told me that I would be blind for the rest of my life. And to be honest with you, I literally took it in my stride that day until I went to bed that night. And when I was in bed on my own, I cried for the one and only penny that I remember about blindness. And I cried because I realised for the first time that I was never going to actually see my mommy and daddy again. I suppose the 10-year-old boy don't think about the bigger things in life. I just missed the fact that I couldn't see my parents' faces again. And I cried myself to sleep that night. The next day, I woke up, got out of bed, and began to put the pieces of my life back together. I went back to the school I was at, Rosewood Primary School, then I went on to St. Joseph Secondary School, done all the exams there, went to university, got my degree in 1983, got married in 1984, got separated in 1985. I'm only joking about that. Well, I think I am. But I have 2 children, Neve and Enya, 20 years of age now, and Enya's 27. And I've done a lot of things after I was shot. I was compensated by the British government, and we half the money I bought a house, and the other half I bought a pub. And 2 years later, I bought a second pub. So by the time I was 20 years of age, I owned 2 pubs in the centre of Derry. I didn't even drink. But I also learned how to play the guitar after I was shot. I used to play in bands, semi-professional, all over Ireland really. And me and my girlfriend then, my wife Rita, we set up a folk choir. We sing at Mass every Saturday night. We still do that 40 years later. And I was like every young boy, I was a football fanatic. I would have kicked a Coke can around the street just to play football. And I suppose I kept my interest up with football because in the mid-90s, I became a director of Derry City Football Club. And I'm sure you all heard of Derry City Football Club. It's the biggest club on the planet, as you know. And the last time I was a director of Derry City Football Club back in the 90s, they were champions of Ireland. So it's a great experience. But why am I telling you all of that in a very short space of time, sort of give you a pot of history of my life up to that point? The reason why I do that is to acknowledge the things in my life that made it possible for me not only to survive blindness, being shot in blindness, but to actually see blindness as a positive experience. I actually don't mind being blind. In fact, sometimes I quite enjoy being blind. It's great when you have to do talks like this because I don't have to look at you lot. I just think I'm in the living room. The only difference when you're in the living room, nobody laughs at your jokes. But you know, the reason why I think I bounced back so well was because I come from a good family. I also come from a good And the third thing, I suppose, would be that despite the poverty and despite the challenges that existed in Derry and Northern Ireland, the fact that I was blind, I was able to go back to school and get an education for myself. And it was in my young adult years that I became very aware of, children in other parts of the world that might have had their eyesight, but didn't have what I had. So eventually, I sold out the business and I set up a charity called Children in Crossfire. And I suppose Children in Crossfire focuses on children that suffer from the injustice of poverty. Children that wake up every day and don't know where their next meal is going to come from. Children that suffer from waterborne diseases, hunger. They're deprived of basic human rights every day of their lives. I started Children in Crossfire back in 1996, so we're going now 23 years. Today we work in Tanzania and Ethiopia mainly, and we provide access to preschool education and also health projects as well. I would encourage you to look up the Children in Crossfire website if you get a chance, childrencrossfire.org. Now, I'm not the only person that suffered as a result of my blindness. My mommy and daddy suffered enormously. My parents were two very religious people. They didn't support violence in any way, but despite their best efforts to avoid the troubles, almost went worse. And my mommy's brother was shot dead in Bloody Sunday in Rinpoche. And that was January 72. And 3 months later, I was blind at the bottom of the screen, blind. And I remember when I got out of hospital, lying in the bed at night, and my mommy thought I was sleeping. She comforted me beside my bed, and she would start to say her prayers. And then she would break down and start to cry. And the crying would get out of control. And she'd say things like, "Look at him, God. He's only a 10-year-old boy. Please get him back inside sleep. Please get him back inside sleep." For me, I'm a very happy, contented blind person. I told you that already. But I wouldn't be telling you the truth if it hadn't been for the fact that the times in my life when I must stay outside. For example, when my 2 daughters were born. I was there in the war when they came into the world for the first time. And I couldn't see them. When they smiled for the first time. When they opened their eyes for the first time. I couldn't see them. And I remember sitting in the Craig Chapel when they made their first communions and their confirmations. And anybody that's not from the Catholic faith, that's a big day in anybody's family. And they walked down the aisle in their beautiful dresses, and everybody telling me how beautiful they looked. And I couldn't see it. In those moments, I thought about the very same as chapter. You're doing something now that I will never be able to do. You're looking at a photograph of my children. You know what my children look like. I'll never know that. That's the legacy of violence. That's the legacy of war. And you've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? It's not worth it for me. But despite all of that, I never had a moment's anger or a moment's hatred. And I want you to think about anger and hatred. It's a self-destructive emotion. It destroys you from the inside out. Somebody once described anger to me, it's like drinking a cup of poison and expecting the other person to die. Well, I'm glad I didn't have that to the point where I'd have to meet the soldier in the shop. I didn't know his name until 33 years after the incident. I found out his name in 2005. And in January 2006, I flew to Scotland on my own and met Charles for the first time. And they sit in a hotel foyer opposite the man that blinded me for life and caused all those hurts to me and my family all those years ago. And to like him was an amazing experience. Me and Charles talked for 4 hours, 3 quarters that day, and it was one of the most amazing experiences in my life. And I learned two things about forgiveness that day. The first thing is, forgiveness is first and foremost a gift that you give to yourself. What do I mean by that? If Charles wants my forgiveness, he has it. But that's not what's important. What's important for me and here, for my happiness, for my peace of mind, that I forgive. The second thing about forgiveness is it doesn't change the past, but it does change the future. Again, the fact that I forgive Charles isn't going to give me back the eyesight. It doesn't only take away all the hurts that were caused to me and my family all those years ago. But what it did do and has done is change my future. And I genuinely don't believe that I would be the happy, contented person doing all the things that I've done with my life so far if I had been racked with anger, bitterness, and hatred. I am a victim of the Northern Ireland conflict, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I refuse to be a victim of anger, and there's plenty I can do about that. I always say, you can take away somebody's eyesight, but you can't take away their vision. And my vision is the work that I'm doing for the children of God. Thank you very much.
What do you think? Any comments?
Unusual man. Very unusual man. His comments sound very Buddhist.
Mm.
He's
Mm.
Christian.
Yeah. So he went to meet the person who harmed him, who destroyed all that joy and happiness in life. And he said that he never had a moment of anger against him. And it's like he's contributing all the good things happened to him because he didn't hold on to anger. Imagine if he had hold onto hatred, begrudging, all this. We don't know what his future had become. And this also, I think, shows that it is possible. It is possible to forgive someone. We think that, oh, I can never forgive that person. But it is possible. And when you do that, it really helps. So that's why he's saying that the gift you are giving to yourself. Remember, I've been repeating this. We always say that I'm not going to forgive them. As it's like you are preventing something great to the other person. And then we say, I am going to forgive him. It's like you are giving something really huge to the other person. But as he says, it is actually giving a gift, gifting yourself. When you are able to really forgive, really changes everything. So that's why even in the research, there are many ways. There's another one which talks about the benefits. And it says that discover your need for forgiveness. Know what forgiveness is and why it matters. First, of course, you need to understand what forgiveness means. Forgiveness is not condoning. Forgiveness is not forgetting. You realize all this, but then you make a conscious decision because it matters to you. Since you want happiness, then why? Since that kind of guarantees happiness, brings joy, relieves all that anxiety and animosity that is what you call corrosive and eating you in from within. So why not let that go away. So that's the saying. So that's why His Holiness calls him my hero. We rarely come across people who can do this. So that we should, what do you call it? We should get inspired. Okay, if he can do it, why not? Why can't I? Normally we have this tendency to compete with others. We always say, oh, I'm better than that person. That's our natural tendency. So when you really think, even in that context, we should take that, oh, if he can do, I can do it. So anything else on this? If not, we will now what Shantideva. So remember we are talking about the sources of anger. So there are the reasons, the reason why we get angry. Generally there are 9 reasons. Do you remember the 9 reasons? Generally, he harmed or he or she harmed me in the past. Will is harming me now, is causing harm now. Will cause harm in the future. So that's why I must get angry at them. I have reason to get angry. That's 3 set of reasons. Another one is, no, I also got lost. Another reason is, they are helping my enemy. They helped my enemy in the past. They're helping now. They will help in the future. So I must get angry at that person. That's 6. And what is the other 3? Oh, then I think it's my loved ones. They harmed my loved one in the past. They are doing now. They will do in the future. So these are 3 reasons. 9 sets of reasons why we get angry. So here, is one of this. So now your reason is that, oh, the other person is praising my enemy. So you don't like that. Shengi Yuanden, we covered this before, but I'm just kind of going through again. Shengi Yuanden Tendone Kedin Gawe Tetomna, Yikyo Kyangni Tetone Chichir Tetar Gamijis. Should someone else find joys, a joyous happiness upon praising my enemy as an excellent person, why mind do you not praise him too, and likewise make yourself happy? What does that mean? Shengi Yuandin Tendune, should someone else find joyous happiness? Your reason is this. So basically, what Shantideva was saying is, this can become a cause of joy to you. So if that is the case, why not you do the same? Because when somebody praises somebody sincerely, that person really finds joy in extolling or what you call the listing the qualities of another person. That person, if it is a sincere praise, they really, it is sincere, it is genuine, then they really find joy in that. So if another person finds joy in praising the other person, why are you get angry? Because you also seek joy. You also want happiness, joy. So since that can become a cause of your joy, why not you also join in and praise the person? Because that will result in joy, joyous happiness to you. That's what it says. So our ordinary tendency is when somebody praises a person whom you don't like, then this becomes, oh, he's no longer in my list, friend list. Oh, he is praising my enemy. So no, you are now out. That's we do, isn't it? We say friends, what's that? Enemy's friend is? Enemy's enemy is my friend. And enemy's friend is my enemy. So Shantideva was saying that that's really not wise. So this is mainly about jealousy. We get jealous. And there's a nice quoting. It says, envy is the art of counting the other fellow's blessings instead of your own. You are listing, oh, that person has this one, he's like this quality, that quality, that quality. You're not listing your quality. You are listing another person's quality, and then you are getting mad over it. So now there is a kind of a argument or a question, a doubt. That joyous happiness of yours would be a source of joy, not something prohibited, a precept given by the excellent ones and the supreme means for assembling others. 최지 가외 대화디 대중 코나 대중 카나 마토메 연된 템바 남지 낭 셴드 바이 초기 양 초기 초장인스. So it says that, oh, this joy, if you just look for the joy, isn't that part of attachment? And attachment is something that Buddha has prohibited. So shouldn't we be engaging in this? So Shantideva was saying that this is different. When you find joy praising your enemy, this is not the joy that Buddha prohibits. Because this is a source. The joyous happiness of yours would be a source of joy, not something prohibited. So these are not the kind of attachment or thing that Buddha has prohibited. And also, more so, it says the precept given by the excellent ones. So Buddha has permitted this kind of joy. If you find joy praising your enemy, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with that. And also such thing is a supreme means for assembling others. So when we pursue Bodhisattva's path, so our main goal is to liberate sentient beings. But we know that there is no such thing as you just pick this sentient being and bring to enlightenment. The only way is to show the path. So when showing the path, if your speech is not sweet and if you are not skilled, then people may not come to you. Even if you have such a precious instructions or real advice to give. But if you are not skillful, people won't come. Remember, there are really great scholars, but they say, "Ayo, he's so short-tempered." Yeah, even though he is very good, he is knowledgeable, but I don't want to go to him because he gets angry and he can be very nasty. We don't like such persons. So that's why when you are able to praise them, but of course, praise you have to be factual based, isn't it? So these are means. So first you talk nicely, sweetly, and then bring people, and then that kind of opens the door for you to share Dharma. Otherwise, the door will remain closed. So there's no chance, even if you want to help another person, there's no way. So that's why praising others' quality is a means, it's a skillful means. Even if it's such an angry person, but there is always another quality. Sometimes we get blinded by one negative quality and then we see nothing. But if we put effort, the person has so many other qualities. So you look for that quality and then you point out, oh, you have this and this quality. The person will be friendly with you. And then you can start sharing Dharma. And then maybe you can even help with his anger issues. So that's why it says that these are permitted by Buddha. Not only permitted by Buddha, but it's also a supreme means for assembling disciples or way to help others. 咸阳在这儿得就是些，给的去得的没得，老年轻说帮白这通到马桶两百就如是。So now you say, oh, it's not really about, I'm okay with another person praising the other person. My issue is not really about another person, someone listing the qualities, listing the qualities of another person. That is okay. But my issue is I don't like to see the other person happy because of the other's praise. So if we say like this, that's when Shantideva comes. If that is your reason, he says, it is said that others are made happy through being praised in this way, but if in this way you do not want them to have this happiness, then since it makes them happy, you should cease giving wages and the like to your servants, or you would be adversely affected both in this and future lives. So if your issue is that making the other person happy, that part, if you don't agree, if you don't like that, if you don't want that, then he says that we give all the time. Like if you have a maid, we pay them. If you go to a restaurant, we tip them. Especially like maid and all this, you tend to be kind and you give wages because that makes them happy, and then they will reciprocate. They will continue working for you. Remember, when you go to a waiter, they always say that don't argue with them or don't make issues with them, because when the food comes, you never know whether they spit in there. So why? We try to make them happy, to please them, because we want to be treated well. We want to gain that benefit. So it says, if your issue is really about making others happy, then you should stop doing all this. You should stop paying wages to your worker. You should stop paying tips. You do that, next time you go there, finish. They know you. Ah, there comes the one who doesn't tip. And then you don't know what food is going to come out. And not only that, it says you would be adversely affected both in this and future lives. How so? So if you, let's say, stop paying wages to your maid or cleaner, will they come? They will stop coming, isn't it? So, hey, that doesn't pay me on time. I don't want to go there. And then your house will be in a mess. So that's why just for that example, it says that it affects in this very life. And then we have something called reciprocal, isn't it? You scratch my back, I scratch yours. So we do this exchange, all this health and everything we exchange. So if your concern is that making other person happy, then you say you should stop doing that. If you stop doing that, you will lose all that. And then future lives, instead of being generous with your praise or likewise, you hold grudge, you generate jealousy. As a result, your future life will be affected. Even if you are not born in the lower realms, even if you are able to achieve human rebirth, you will be a victim of scandals, gossips, jealousy. Other people without their fault. They work in a workplace, there's always lots of talks and gossips about you. Everybody, for no reason, gets so jealous and tries to harm you, do all kinds of things, nasty things. So they go, how come, I didn't do anything. Why are they so nasty against me? Hey, next, the previous life, you were so jealous about others. So that's what Shantideva was saying. This is interesting. Rangi yunden jobeze shenla tewang dobarche. Shengi yunden jobeze ranglang tewang mindoches. When people describe my own good qualities, I want others to be happy too. But when they describe the good qualities of others, I do not wish to be happy myself. So Shantideva was saying that there's a huge contrast, big gap, big contrast. What is the contradiction? Can you tell from this? Rangi yunden jobeze shenlan tewan dobarches. You want others to be happy when they praise you. You want them to praise you. You want them to be happy. That's your what you call the desire, your wish. So you want your enemy to praise you, and because of this genuine praise, they will have joyous happiness. So on the one hand, you are saying that I don't want my enemy to be happy. But on the other hand, you want them to genuinely praise you. So he said, this is contradiction. What you wish and what you fundamentally is it? Wish and what you don't want for the enemy. You get the point? Okay. Then another contradiction is Shenji Yunzen Jobese Rangan Tewa Mindu Chis. So when you sincerely praise your enemy, sincerely, genuinely praise, this will give rise to joyous happiness, joy, genuine joy. You don't want to do that, but on the other hand, you always want to have joyous happiness. So he says, you see, there is also a contradiction. So if you want this, you should do this. If you don't want this, you shouldn't do this. You cannot have both because it clashes. Simjen tamje te dobe chanju duni simje ne simjen rangi tenye na teguchi de chor che. So this is saying that when happiness or good things happens to others, including your enemies, you shouldn't be angry, you should be happy. Because having generated the awakening mind through wishing all beings to be happy, why should I become angry if they find some happiness themselves? So we call ourselves Bodhisattva practitioners. So the determining factor, whether one is Mahayana practitioner, Bodhisattva practitioner, or not, is determined by this awakening mind, wishing to this wish to liberate all sentient beings, to end sufferings of all sentient beings, to provide all the happiness. So on the one hand, we sit down, meditate. May all sentient beings have happiness and all the causes of happiness. And then when you see that our enemy is enjoying that, praise, gloating in that bliss, oh, we are jealous. I said, why are you doing that? Because you really want happiness. And you not only wish others to have it, you have made this mind that I will provide all the happiness for you, including my enemy. And then when they themselves are getting it, why are you so upset? Why are you jealous? You should be really rejoicing and feeling happy that, I don't have to work so hard now. You yourself are doing quite well. So why should I become angry if they find some happiness themselves? Okay, we will break here. It's already 11. Let's see. Okay. Start. Okay. Thank you.
Cold water?
Hot water. If there is hot, you can just top up. Thank you. I think there's tea or something. Please. Please.
Just offering for Sakadama.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Are you kind of resting now?
Yes.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, doing better.
Okay, very good. I'm happy.
Yeah, feeling a bit more settled. And my mom's doing a little better. So,
Okay, that's
so
very
that's
good.
good. Yeah.
Okay, okay, great, great. Thank you, thank you. 도지체나. 맞어, 도지체. 맞어. 수장 아무래. 가래. 도지체. No. 라. 아니, 나스. yeah. 나스. 도지체. Are you having tea? Okay. Bonnie?
Why I said that is when you ask what is Sakada, what is significance of today, Sakada. When you ask that, she said it marks the end of retreat season. You having tea?
Yeah.
It's too hot.
Yeah. Very nice tea.
We need to boil some water because it didn't seem to be any.
Oh, it's okay.
And
I got tea.
Amatashi had hot water right there.
Okay.
So this is
Thank
very
you.
warm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Is it okay if I drink during the class?
Yeah, it's
But
okay.
it's too hot.
Yeah, it's okay. You put it up there. 벌써 말해 도지체.
Is there one word in Tibetan for vegan? Because I always say no thank you whenever she offers me anything because I can't eat anything she's offering me and I feel so bad. But
okay.
I need to explain.
Okay. I can explain to
Okay,
her.
okay. When you have a chance.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry to ask you to translate. I just feel bad. She's always offering tea and cookies and I can't.
Okay. I will
Are
do that.
you doing other pujas this afternoon for Sakadawa?
Yeah. So we are. Beauty is hosting this Sakada event at the community hall.
Okay.
So I'm going as well.
Okay.
Vegan.
Yeah. So difficult to please. She's doing better. Yeah, they changed her medication. I think she was moving too much medication and it was making her blood pressure too low. And that was making her so weak. Right, so now she's off her blood pressure medication and her blood pressure's been fine. And she has, and it's been normal. She's taking it every day and it's in a normal range. She has one of those ones that you can just do at home, like a little wrist one. Yeah, so she's just been tracking it every day. But whenever I talk to her almost every day, and she has more energy when I'm talking to her, and she seems a little clearer. So, yeah, so, so it's good, right? But, we keep talking that it would be better if she was in a retirement community, so there was a bit more. Not yet. I keep bringing it up, but just lightly because if I push too much, then it upsets her. Yeah. I occasionally mention her moving out here, and that's yeah. Although the other day, for the first time, she actually knows. She said about moving out here. She said, "Well, it would be really nice to live close to you and David." I was like, "Oh, really?" So maybe it's shifting a little bit. Yeah. But I'm glad she's doing a little better. Resistance to change. It's very challenging. I mean, something. Yeah, but it can be really challenging and stressful. My mom, some of the other she needed to send some certificate to her insurance agent, and the person she called and they said, just take a picture on your phone and text it to me. And she called me and she's like, I know I've done this before, but I don't remember how. And then she has an Android phone, and I have an iPhone, and so then I don't know how the Android phone works. And this is really stressful. I think she still hasn't gotten it figured out. I told her my aunt has an Android phone, and I said, call her and she can maybe take you through the steps. But something that's, simple, it becomes this huge stress for days until she figures it out. Yeah. She hit her head and had a concussion, and I think about 6 years ago, and so she said light is really bothering her right now, so she's, and her balance is not as good, so that's why she's using living today, and Yeah, so she's sitting out there because just night and just sound like this is, she's okay just sitting in a teaching, especially when we're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
It's like too much, yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
We're going to shatter the tranquility of tea again. We're going to shatter the tranquility of tea.
This is the true tranquil sound and God. At least if I strike it right, it's a tranquil.
Yeah.
We were watching a very funny video of some gongpa in Tibet or somewhere where the young monk was doing the drums. He was like attacking the drum.
Have you ever seen videos of the taiko drummers, the Japanese taiko drummers?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to get in the way of those sticks.
I relate to that.
I'm sure we can. She now has more people in her group, and so that helps massively. Makes it easier.
So over the summer, is she like doing research or during?
Well, she's always doing research,
Okay.
but she doesn't have to teach.
Yeah.
So it's really crazy when she's got classes to teach, plus she's got events. You don't really have an off-season piece that doesn't matter.
Off season, I know I have a little lulls like right now, although I have time to work, I don't have any like hard deadlines with clients, so you know, it just feels less stressful. It's not like I go to work and I have a long to-do list and weeks and weeks of work and other things to start, but it doesn't feel as tight right now. Yeah, exactly. So that's nice.
That's one thing about the there's less deadlines.
Yeah. One of the things that I think is fun is I have external deadlines that are imposed by my client or for the nonprofits and deadlines from IRS.
Take it, Josie.
There's the municipal hierarchy and so many levels of review of work. In addition to the external deadlines, these internal deadlines. And it just creates unnecessary stress. I understand the reason for it, but you have someone firms like I don't have to just manage my external deadlines.
Yeah, it's the master of the tranquil master of the tranquil ready.
This is one. We've been Dharma brothers and sisters for 25
For a
years.
quarter of a century, I sat at the feet of one of the teachers.
Okay, so before we dive back into this one, so I forgot to mention, but I think you all know the significance of today's day You know, yeah, why it is special today.
The birth, enlightenment,
Yeah, so there are special deeds of Buddha. So normally the common one is 12 deeds of Buddha. So this month, normally, yeah, one deed maybe 1 month. But this month is the meeting of 3 deeds. So Buddha's birth, Buddha was born. Then Buddha achieved enlightenment. Today is the day. Some 5,000 years ago, or just 2050 or whatever years ago, Buddha achieved enlightenment today. And then Buddha passed away on this day. So that's why it is a day that has these 3 major events. So that's why it is very important. It is very special. So normal one event, one deed day, of course we say they're still very meritorious. But imagine if you have these 3 big events happening on one day, how virtuous and how meritorious our practice can become. So go back, do something, isn't it? Okay, now coming back to Shantideva. So this is kind of a continuing. The first stanza, it is about intangible kind of a happiness and joy. When our enemies find joy and happiness when others give them praise, we're saying that we shouldn't be angry, we shouldn't be jealous, but we should really rejoice, because that's what we wanted. That's what we always wish for. So now this one is, how about tangible things like possessions, money? If somebody is very generous with our enemy, should we be jealous or should we rejoice? So this is coming back to the one. Semjen thamje te dobe chanju do ne semje ne semjen range tenya na. No, I'm reading that. Jigden sumje changya war semjen namne doje na. Nyinguru nyenyu tsam tongne chijir tela tongwar ches. So the argument is like this. Okay, I see your point, that it is good for me to, I shouldn't be jealous when I hear others giving praise to my enemy. So okay, I understand that. But then what happens is, when one person gives praise to my enemy, then because of that praise, people give things, give possessions, give wealth, make offerings. Let's say somebody says, oh, Drupa Rinpoche is so and so, so. Oh, another person says, oh, after hearing this, oh, I must go and make offering to him. I must make $1 million offering. So when you see that, should you be jealous? So this is saying that, okay, I'm okay with the praise, just giving, mere praise is okay. It doesn't really hurt me that much. But then what happens is, as a result of this praise, he gets, pampered. He gets a lot of goodies. I cannot tolerate that. That makes me jealous. So that's again saying that if you feel that way, then that is contradictory to what you have pledged to do. If I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddhas, worship throughout the 3 realms, then why am I tormented when I see them receiving mere mundane respects and possessions, whatever wealth, whatever gain? So he said, we have made this pledge that also we wanted, to facilitate sentient beings, that Buddhahood, once you achieve that one, the beings in the 3 realms, will revere you. We wanted to provide that kind of status to all sentient beings that we have pledged. So now on the one hand, you have pledged that, and on the other hand, when you see others getting this kind of treatment, you cannot tolerate. So that's a contradictory, huge contradiction. If you really cannot tolerate, then you should not have pledged that. That means we shouldn't be calling ourselves Mahayana practitioners. It's not easy, isn't it?
Is it possible not to have enemies? To just decide no one is your enemy? Or
Of course, it's all your attitude, isn't it? Buddha has no enemies. Maybe Richard Moore has no enemies.
Doesn't it say that those who give you emotional challenges are your best friends because they give you the opportunity to clear your own selfishness away?
Yeah.
And does it not say in the Lama Shupa, so may I take all unfortunate circumstances and all the sufferings of beings upon me right now?
Yeah, that's the practice, isn't it? Core practice of Mahayana, Lojong practice. You take upon all the sufferings, you give away all the good qualities. So if we pledge to do that, if that is our core practice, then we shouldn't be feeling jealous when others are getting all this. Because on the one hand, you are sitting down here and sending all the good things. Let's say a person who who is in need of, I don't know, basic needs. We send our virtue in the form of whatever that sentient being needs. So we sit down in our prayer room, we do this. And then when we are out of our prayer room, meditation room, when we see somebody getting this thing, you get burned inside. Oh, he is getting this. So that's what Shantideva is showing, how contradictory our ways of doing things. On the one hand, you say, oh, you really want to offer all the happiness, all the good things. On the other hand, you are not happy when they receive good things from others.
I am thinking in the practical world, there is someone in my building who is very needy and cannot actually live independently. And he is harming others with incessantly, he calls them all throughout the night and wakes people from their sleep. And he begs for things and to give him something, and I'm telling you from experience, is to bring a heap of trouble upon yourself. So I'm thinking that there is a separation between practical existence in this phenomenal world and the spiritual world of taking upon you a person's fallacies and giving them your strengths. In the practical world, it has worked very much against me to try to help him.
Yeah, so there's always a balance. That's why we need wisdom. Wisdom and compassion has to go together. That's why we say stages of path. So when you are at the beginner's level, you cannot do much, even though there's wish. But when you arrive at certain levels, bodhisattvas can even give their own body, their head, their life. They have no hesitation. So unless we have reached that one, so you use your common sense.
So I've always wondered about this story of the man who cut from his thigh to give to a starving dog, and the starving dog was actually a deer. So you're talking about that stages. Maybe not in this lifetime.
No, in order to help like needy people, we don't really need to arrive at that stage. Let's say somebody is hungry, if you have food, give food. And if you feel that that is actually not really, that you cannot really, there is let's say the other emotions are conflicting you, then you just stay away.
So what I hear you saying is that it is
You
the
weigh.
intention of good
Yeah.
that is more important than what you do in the world. It is how you feel and your heart.
Yeah. Intention, of course, all starts
you.
with the intention. All has to start with the intention. But sometimes we say, oh, intention is good enough. That's also wrong, isn't it? So if you can, with the intention, if giving outweighs the negativities, then you do. You weigh first, which is more beneficial. Even in giving, we say that, when you give, somebody you see, let's say somebody asking for drugs. So you see whether that is beneficial to the person. If it's beneficial, it is a temporary benefit or long-term benefit. If it helps temporarily, but long-term it really damages the person,
So
then you shouldn't.
the tenets of giving are in the right way at the right time to the right person for the right reasons.
Yeah, so you have to take all that into consideration.
So all I can give this person is my prayers.
Yeah, if that is all you can, why not?
Teacher.
If I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddhas, worshipped throughout the three realms, then why am I tormented when I see them receiving mere mundane respects? So now, analogy is provided. The next. Oh, another break. So this is the example or the analogy. 소자 가이시 교소와스 균이기니 진짜데 닝게 소원 예교르나 가미교르와 라르토함스. If a relative for whom I am caring and to whom I must give many things should be able to find his own livelihood, wouldn't I be happy rather than angry? So we have pledged to provide all sentient beings temporary goal and permanent goal. So, and then we are trying our best to do so. On the way, in the process, when you say that they are also trying their best and they are able to achieve some goals, then we should be rejoicing. It's like, wow, that's so good. Less work for me, isn't it? If you have to clean this place and somebody comes and does half of it, will you be angry? How dare you clean the place, I'm supposed to clean. We will be happy, isn't it? We will be happy that, okay, that's good. I don't have to do much work. So this is exactly here. He's saying that when the sentient beings from their own accord, from their own side, if they are able to really achieve these small goals, then we should be rejoicing with them. We should feel happy that they are able to achieve this and not, begrudge and resent. So this is all because our pledge is not spotlighted to a particular group of people. It is all, we have included all sentient beings. When we say all sentient beings, our enemies are in that group. So when enemies also find these things, we should rejoice. So if we do the contrary, which is if we feel jealous instead of enjoying, instead of rejoicing in their achievements, then it's saying that our bodhicitta mind, this awakening mind, will degenerate. Techi dola mido na tela chanju do kanyi, kanshi shenju chodela chanju sebne kala yus. if I do not wish for beings to have even these mundane things, if we do not wish, if we cannot appreciate, if we cannot find joy in others achieving these small things from their own effort, then how can I wish for them to be awakened, to become Buddha? And where is there an awakening mind? In him who become angry when others receive things. No explanation needed, isn't it? It's so clear. So we have to always remember that, hey, I am Mahayana practitioner. I call myself Mahayana practitioner. Or I am practicing bodhicitta. So when you see all this, then these verses are supposed to help us kind of, oh, no. So that's why I think we don't really practice that much. We don't have we haven't really fully developed compassion and bodhicitta. Like His Holiness, whenever His Holiness nowadays teaches, there's always extolling of bodhicitta mind. Because like His Holiness, who lived by that, so by first hand, His Holiness can experience all that benefit. So that's why it comes naturally, spontaneous. But for us, when we hear to talk, oh yeah, it makes sense. And then, yeah, there's nothing there, isn't it? So this is really like just tasting the skin of the sugar cane. They say the sugar cane, when you chew on the skin, there's a little bit of sweetness, isn't it? Oh, we are so satisfied, so content with that. Oh, so tasty that we forget to really chew the actual one which is inside. So when you really practice and really develop, then it is like tasting the real sugar cane in there. Like His Holiness, they taste that. So that's why, yeah, it comes. And I think when you really practice bodhicitta, just your way of, what is that all? Your way of conducting, your conduct, everything will change. Even like, I think the bodhicitta mind, if you really have that one, I think it will stir you in the right way. Let's say if you are going to engage or commit some negative actions, so, oh, how can I'm supposed to liberate all these sentient beings, and for that I have to achieve enlightenment. If I do this, no way I will achieve enlightenment. I should be doing the other way. You see, when you have this constant reminder of bodhicitta mind, it will propel you. It will navigate you to the right way, doing virtuous actions. So when we forget that, then yeah, we will engage in anything that whatever we feel like. So there's no navigator there. So this bodhicitta can be a very effective navigator. Yeah.
One of the obstacles I struggle with is that my effort for bodhicitta doesn't always seem genuine, that I more or less pretend, or in this situation I can think, oh yeah, I'm a Mahayana.
Yeah.
But then when my cat is annoying me, then I just get angry, and I think, oh,
yeah,
I'm just pretending.
Yeah. So
maybe like what you suggest to Bonnie, there's some wisdom there that my intention in this situation is encouraged, but I have to be maybe more careful about really knowing what I can do.
Yeah, so when we talk about bodhicitta, remember we have something called contrived bodhicitta and the spontaneous bodhicitta. Right. So we first start with the contrived. And then when you engage in that practice long enough, it becomes spontaneous. It's like how we acquire our habits. Habits are acquired things. We are not born with that. You engage in this repeatedly, then that becomes our habit. So the point is that you don't need to be discouraged. This is with everybody. Everybody feels that, some days, you have this kind of very strong bodhicitta mind. The other times it's more like, it's kind of pretentious. Is it pretentious? Yeah. But then if you put effort, repeatedly meditate on that, doing the analytical meditation, then it can become stronger and stronger, and then it can become spontaneous, genuine one. Yeah. So like anger, all this, that's why we say that when we really reflect on our actions, after this life, let's say if death comes tomorrow, where we are going to be, if we really honestly, honestly reflect, we know that the virtue, first of all, is very limited, very small in number. Even the little virtue that we have is not perfect. Either it is incomplete with the motivation, or the actual practice, or the dedication. It lacks dedication. So it's broken. Is it broken? What do you call that? It's scratched everywhere. Nothing perfect. But like anger, afflictive emotions, anger, jealousy, perfect in every way. First of all, like you want that. Normally I give this example. Maybe it doesn't apply, but it applies in India. Mosquito is a common thing. Night you are sleeping soundly, and then you hear, vroom. So annoying, isn't it? And then you wait for it to. It's okay. Next time I'm waiting for it to hear. Intention is there. Such a strong intention to kill. And then you wait for the chance. You slept. But sometimes you just slap yourself, isn't it? And then when you're able to do that, there's this satisfaction. Oh, I did it. Okay, I can now go back to sleep. You see, perfect in every way. So when you think that way, the likelihood of going down is very certain. Going up is quite difficult. So it's a common thing for us, but it is good to realize that. When you have this realization, at least there is a chance that you will do something about it. You will improve that. Some people don't even realize that. That's a loss. Kedi teyi tele nye dam chinda kimna ne gyurwam kundu tekyo lame na chima chinrung te chi chas. So now, shengi nyeba la chado meribas. So this is about rang la nyoba mi gebe to meribas. So since it doesn't harm you, we shouldn't get angry. What does it matter if my enemy is given something or not? Whether he obtains it or whether it remains in the benefactor's house. In either case, I shall get nothing. To the point, isn't it? So, out of attachment, when we see your enemy being provided some material gains, so you get angry. So he's saying that whether that benefactor gives that person or doesn't give, but whatever that thing, you don't get anyway. If he gets it. So there's nothing really to be so upset about it. Tradugi Nyinguru laws.
Rinpoche, I apologize to the group, but the concussion has taken all that it can handle of life and sound, so I have to leave, and I'm sorry for this.
Yeah. Please. So when you see your enemy receiving gifts, so our tendency is to be jealous. So he said that jealousy will only harm you in this life and also in your future life. So you should just, let go of this. Don't let that affect you. So never chas rikis chimbe megawadans. So that means because the other has given, benefactor has given to the other person, you shouldn't feel that unhappiness, or that it was not given, you shouldn't rejoice. So instead, it says, instead, Sunam Dhani Devams, Rangi Yunden Chichir Dors, Nebra Chua Minzemba, Kange Choa Mijimus. So why that your enemy is receiving all this gift is because that person that whom you call enemy, he has created the karma in the past. He has engaged in the practice of virtue, practice of generosity. Because of that, he is receiving all this. So if you really want to receive all this instead of that person, then he says, so why by becoming angry do I throw away my merits? The faith others have in me and my good qualities, tell me why am I not angry with myself for not having the causes for gain? So if you really want, to be the recipient instead of your enemy, then you should engage in the causes that can result in receiving all these gifts. So since you are engaging in the contrary way, where you are engaging in anger, you're becoming angry, you are becoming jealous, all this actually throws away all that merits, the merit to receive all these gifts. So you should, if you really want to be angry, you should be angry at yourself for not creating the causes and conditions, or destroying the causes and conditions to receive this. Here that the faith in my good qualities. So here in Tibetan, where is it? Sunam Dhani Tebams. So first you should engage in cultivating merits, and then you should conduct yourself in a way that the benefactor can be inspired, can invoke faith in them, so that they will give you. If you conduct very badly and if you expect others to give you things, this is not going to happen.
This really hits home. So we are
Mm.
And there's a sister that needs a lot of these furnitures. And when is it enough to give? Do we keep giving? Keep giving? And where is the balance of giving so that you don't enable that person? Shall we just keep giving all this? Or we sell them and make money for us? Some of them. Because we've given so much. So do we just keep giving?
It's up to you. You have to check your intention, how you feel. If you feel a bit of, at the side, there's a bit of, I don't know, stinginess, or some kind of miserliness, or some discomfort in giving, then maybe it's not a pure giving. Then you may hold back. Or if you feel that, oh, okay, I'm happy to give, you feel that it's really benefiting them, then you can continue giving. Yeah. Of course, that depends on whether you can afford or not. So if you can afford to give, and if your conscience or the intention is clear, is really to benefit them, then why not? Yeah, sometimes people feel that, oh, practice giving is good, but then you are depleting there's nothing enough. So there was one person, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for the center, Gyudu center, there was one, I think, member, so sending money every month, but she herself was struggling. So they had to tear the check. Every time she sends, they just tear, because they know that she cannot afford. But she is really devoted, and she really wants to do that. So that also you have to see your situation. Yeah. Balance, I think. What do you think?
I think that if it's a skillful gift and it's given from the heart and you don't feel like you're harming yourself, then it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think the time for giving a gift is when it's given freely and willingly, and that's when it's of most benefit both to the recipient and to yourself.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
I think when you give, it's give with a totally happy mind. If there's some discomfort for whatever reason, maybe you're not ready to give that much, it's better to wait. In the future you can give, because as Rinpoche was saying, the gift becomes tainted if you have some doubt, like, oh, are you going to use it properly, or am I going to be okay? And these kind of thoughts get in the way of the purity of giving. So I think whatever we can manage comfortably, and when we give, once it's left your hands, it doesn't matter what the person does with it or any other thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that you're worried that your gift is being maybe not appreciated, or that they're not thankful, or I know one part of this chapter is telling you have to be careful what you give, the object you give, so that it doesn't harm the other people, so you don't give poison. But I think you're describing a very interesting situation where you're giving to somebody who's a bottomless pit, and perhaps the resources are being thrown away. So that's not a good thing to just throw away a gift. But then at the same time, you really don't know in their own mind whether or not it's a good gift for them. But that's what you have to have wisdom. Like you really have to, and I think for me, the word intuition, you can have an intuition that, oh, this is maybe not serving them too well.
Like enabling.
Yeah, that whole thing. But there's a danger there, because it means that you're mind reading, that you're reading their mind, or you're reading the horoscope of the world, that, oh, this is not helping them. And in my own situation, my eldest sister, did something surrounding money, and she believed something about my situation turned out to be very what would you call that? Uncharitable. So yeah, it's a big mixed bag. It's really hard. You gotta probably dig for wisdom.
Yeah, in summary, if you are comfortable, give. You're not comfortable, don't give. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just coming back to this one, the faith others have in me. Remember I was saying that, if you conduct well, if you carry yourself well, other person you will receive, what do you call, help or kindness. So I have been buying used furnitures online. So I bought a bed which is used on Facebook. So the guy came to deliver. And I think we agreed on a price. But when he brought it, it was not solid wood. But actually it was my mistake that, I didn't ask him. But it was not solid wood. So I said, oh, I thought it was solid wood, but it was not. And then said, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I can take back. He didn't argue at all. He offered to take back because he drove all the way. Normally you have to go and collect, but of course I'm paying a fee for that. So he said, oh, he's just willing to take back. So that gesture, he said, it's okay, I will take it. If his response were otherwise, my response may be different. And then what happened was, I think he gave us some discount. And then there are those screws and, and obviously it was left in his car. And he drove back and he came back. He said, oh, this, I've forgotten to pass you. So we give extra, I think $20 or something. So these are all because of his conduct, the way he behaved. He behaved in a very kind way. So that kind of force you to be kind in response. So that's why it says that, if you conduct in a way to generate faith in others, then yeah, the others will be more generous, more willing to help. Okay, let's cover the final one. So this is so it says, oh, oh, that's the end of it. Okay. So I thought that it's prepared. It's not. Okay, we will stop here and then we will, continue next week.
We should say the dedication of the first verse of the short mandala offering on page 4, and then continue with the concluding prayers on page 6.
Tamarira lenje nyende jambande sanje jingdo meiden bewai Dogun namda jingla jabara sho Rana mendala gana yada yame Rinpoche manje banam jejo je Jeba nyamba mebai Gone gondo bewara sho Kozi rabden jen namgar dele jojo jeba da Lozan dembe döme zazum Döve müze dado ne joro che Korve jengamzo bendan dewa malu jome ne Chere zenwan denzin jazoy Jabe sede bado den joro che Jedara jemba da gondo zambo deyan dejen
Deda Gungi Jesu Dalo Je Jawa Deda Damje Rabdongo Desun Jebe Jawa Tamje Je Ngowa Kala Jodo Dagi Gewe Zawan Dengun Jan Zambo Cheche Rabdongo Waranje. Thank you.